this wonderful Monday. We're 15 minutes into the show. You're just in time for our first conversation.
As South Africa observes Human Rights Month, conversations about dignity and fair economic participation are once again in focus. At a recent event titled The Heart of the City, Uber South Africa celebrated the drivers who power the country's mobility economy, connecting millions of people to work, healthcare, and education every day. The platform also announced new partnerships with companies including Telesure, Dunlop, Kilometer, and ShopRite, aimed at reducing operational costs and creating additional earning opportunities for drivers. But the broader conversation also touches on safety, dignity, and the rights of drivers working in often high-risk environments. Joining us to unpack this is Dipesh Thomas, General Manager for Uber Sub-Saharan Africa. Dipesh, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to The Upside. How are you doing?
Hi, Tebogo. Hi, Mmaseko. Nice to meet you both, and thanks for having me. I'm very well. How are you?
We are fantastic. How was the turnout at the heart of the city? No doubt thousands of drivers showed up.
Unfortunately, not thousands, but we did have very good turnout in general. It was a very special event for Uber, the first of its kind in South Africa, so it really went well. Thank you.
Right, the first of its kind. I think that's always so something we're celebrating, the novelty of really gathering, service providers, especially e-hailing service, to celebrate the work that they've done and how they're literally keeping the country going. Because if we can't move from point A to Z, then there's a shutdown of sorts. So let's talk about the importance of actually doing this event. I think Tebogo did mention a few things in his introduction, but perhaps you can elaborate on the importance of getting Uber drivers in one space and celebrating in this manner.
Yeah, sure. Look, I think firstly, there was a couple of reasons why we did this event, but first and foremost, it was really important to first appreciate and acknowledge and listen to drivers. As I mentioned, we haven't done this kind of event before. So without drivers, Uber is not a platform. At the end of the day, when you press a button, you get connected to a physical individual in a physical car that takes you to a place. So, and that's why we appropriately call this product or this launch an engagement, the heart of the city, because that's essentially what drivers are. They're the pulse of the city, they're the pulse of Uber. And it was really important to appreciate and acknowledge them, and also to reward the best performing drivers. And we had a whole bunch of different awards that we gave through to the different drivers. And I'm sure you would have heard, but the biggest prize for the top performing driver was a brand new vehicle, as well as 20,000 Rand in fuel rewards. And it's quite a touching moment for me personally, but also for the team being there to connect with the drivers and to see how touched they were by the event, but also for us to just engage on the human side of the business.
Speaking of the human side of the business, talk to us about their response to this event. What was their reaction like on the ground in terms of the recognition that you were giving them? Did they feel seen and did they feel heard?
Definitely did. There's a really nice video that's circulating on some socials where we actually filmed the driver before he received the award. And just his reaction was priceless. I don't think you can ever see a moment like that again. Secondly, look, I think the event was also important. We know that driver earnings, fleet earnings, are always under pressure. The event is also to announce strategic partnerships, as you mentioned up front. For us, when we engage with drivers, and I want to just reiterate, we do engage with drivers on a monthly basis. The common theme that comes across is a high cost of ownership. And when we did some research, we understood that things like getting vehicle asset financing for an e-hailing driver is not as simple as someone who's got a full-time job, 3 months of pay slips, an employment contract to walk into a bank and get a loan. So one of the things we did is partner with companies such as SmartOps, who are backed by Absa and Nedbank, to essentially ease and facilitate the gaining of vehicle asset finance. And informally, what happens is when people don't get access through formalized mechanisms, they end up hiring vehicles informally, which costs them 20 to 30% more than they would through a bank. So that was the one. Fuel's always a challenge. Insurance is always a cost. So we're looking at strategic, structural ways where we can bring down their costs so that they can take on more at the end of the month.
All right, we're still in conversation with the general manager for Uber in sub-Saharan Africa, Thomas, is joining us on the line. We continue the conversation after this.
Channel Africa, your voice, your sound, and your home. Stay logged right here.
When it comes to world-class exhibitions and event solutions, one name leads the way. GL Events South Africa. From concept to completion, we transform ideas into exceptional experiences, delivering seamless events for conferences, exhibitions, business functions, and more. With global expertise and local insight, we provide innovative, sustainable, and turnkey event solutions you can trust. Partner with the industry leader. Partner with GL Events South Africa. Visit gl-events.co.za.
The Upside. On the Upside, your voice matters.
Welcome back. We're still at heart of the city and really celebrating the work of Uber drivers using South Africa as an example. Of course, Uber is available in many African regions. Sub-Saharan Africa is what Deepesh Thomas is in charge of, and we're just talking about the humanities around the work and what this gathering meant for the drivers themselves. Deepesh, let's talk about some serious matters when it comes to safety matters. This was, of course, celebratory in its essence, this heart of the city, but many drivers are still reporting facing crimes and harassment and other unsafe working conditions. Talk to us about how you will be addressing this as Uber.
Yeah, thanks. And the second theme of the day was specifically to address safety. So we've seen, of course, in recent weeks and months, a lot more articles, reports coming through, some horrific videos of drivers in the e-hailing platform going through some really horrific safety incidents. And although none of these events specifically that were reported were on the Uber platform, every single event obviously has an impact on us and the industry overall. And I think there's always a narrative in the public anyways that the focus is always on the rider side. And it was really important for us to kind of firstly just reiterate that we invest equally onto the platform on the driver safety as well as we do on rider safety. So we had a dedicated presentation from our head of safety to talk us through all the safety mechanisms aimed specifically at drivers before the trip, how we, for example, verify anonymous cash riders that try to take our platform to commit, possibly to commit crimes, and how we verify them to ensure that there's an identity linked to them. And we're the only platform that does so. Secondly, we wanted to iterate some of the other things, such as the partnerships we have with the best-in-class, like armed emergency and response services that we've got, and utilization and to promote more awareness and utilization with drivers. And just to kind of reiterate that we are continuously investing and evolving the platform on both sides of the platform of the marketplace. And it was just important to reiterate that.
Deepesh, is there an in-app panic button? I mean, for those who use Uber on the regular, they may know and they may have seen it and are aware of it. And what services is it connected to? Is it perhaps medical, healthcare service, protection service? Is there a panic button available for the driver? Is there a panic button available for the user?
Yes. Yes, there is on both sides. So it's actually present in the app as one of the safety features that's surfaced as soon as you take the trip. So in addition to, for example, audio recordings, we're bringing out video recordings on the app going forward.
Okay.
There is a physical panic or an e-panic button on the app itself. What it does is it links to, as I mentioned, best-in-class aggregation of private armed security as well as medical dispatch. And for drivers, specifically roadside assistance as well. Which essentially helps them in the event that they're stuck on the side of the road, out of fuel, or have any mechanical issues. And again, it's available for both drivers and riders on the app.
Okay. Uber continues to classify its drivers as independent entrepreneurs rather than employees. So let's talk about where that puts you then in terms of all these other concerns around basic protection of workers. How do you address that under the sort of freelance work contractual agreement that you have with the drivers?
Yeah, look, we're engaging on an active basis on the policy side when it comes to gig economy work. And I think it's really important to understand the flexibility and independence that gig economy work brings through. We're seeing across Africa, of course, that there's a growing trend and a growing contribution of gig economy work. So there's always engagements around that. There's engagements around the protections, such as the safety features we bring in. There's engagements around the kind of work that platform workers have on the platform. But most importantly, it's important to protect the flexibility and independence of these workers. And I can give a couple of examples. A lot of the drivers I've engaged with we've got very varying kind of profiles. You've got your full-time earners. You've also got part-time earners who essentially just check in or online for a couple of hours to essentially add more income to their current full-time jobs. So it's really important that, we're working quite proactively with the government across our regions to kind of formalize and classify gig economy workers and what it means in this new era.
You had mentioned that there are engagements on the regular with the drivers, and perhaps are those then the platforms where drivers outside of the app itself, should something happen that's unfortunate or of a concern to them, that they raise on the app? Outside of that, do you use those monthly engagements to address concerns that they have? And are there dashboards that are available to show them how far you get with certain concerns that they raise in fulfilling them and making sure that they are heard?
Yes. So we have monthly engagement with drivers to understand and get a pulse of their challenges. In addition, of course, I have also signed up as a driver on the platform, and I encourage a lot of my team to do the same, just so we can walk in the same shoes. But exactly, those events are specifically to understand pain points, challenges, issues that we can address together with our drivers. There are mechanisms to report challenges, safety issues with riders, issues with accounts, outside of those monthly forums as well. So either in-app, or we've got a physical presence at our green light hubs, where often a lot of our drivers come in for in-person support. So there's various mechanisms where we gather feedback, we assist, and we diagnose some of the challenges the drivers face.
All right. I think just a final one from my end in terms of, we've addressed the economic dignity, the driver costs, the human rights and safety aspect of heart of the city, as it were. So anyone who perhaps is still looking to join the platform, there are always people that are looking for extra money, that have a car and that would like to join the platform. Anything you'd like to say to them at this time?
Yeah, look, the process is open. So essentially, you'll have to go through the process. We'll have to do a background check, make sure your vehicle is appropriate and in the right condition. There's, of course, regulatory requirements around the types of licenses you need to be on the platform, to have a PRDP, to get a double disc, etc. But as I mentioned, we're a growing platform, and we're always working on ensuring a fair and sustainable balance between demand and supply. And right now, we welcome drivers to come and join the platform.
Dipesh, on the platform, you have scooters, you've got motors, you've got electric cars now, normal cars. When are we getting helicopters and boats in southern Africa?
Look, we've had a few stunts. So I'm sure you've seen the Dubai
of course,
e-taxi helicopter piece. We had one in South Africa 2 years ago, which is essentially Uber Safari, which was a global first. And it was a pre-booked service that allowed you to have a full day experience for a safari for a couple of hours in Cape Town. And it was actually oversubscribed. We had a similar launch in Nairobi that celebrates the Nairobi National Park and foreigners that are coming and tourists coming in. So there's a lot of stunts that happen, but I think what's important is always to maintain focus on the core. So look, there's always opportunities for stunts and new launches and products across different markets.
Amazing. Dipesh, thank you so much for your time and amazing work. And thank you for honoring and appreciating and recognizing these drivers for the hard work that they put in and for ensuring our safety as well as passengers. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Tebogo. Thanks, Mmatsheko. Many more of these to come. So, watch this space. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Amazing. Same to you. The voice of Dipesh Thomas, General Manager for Uber Sub-Saharan Africa. By the way, I used to love that Uber Safari thingy. I was very disappointed that it only lasted for it was a season, like a couple of months. I was like, when are we having it in Johannesburg? It was only in Cape Town. Like, that's such a brilliant idea. Uber Safari.
Listen, you're the guy, call Deepesh and have a consultative conversation with him.
We need to make it happen.
You know that there's a need for it.
We need to make it happen. 30 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. Let's get the latest sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Let's start off with rugby news. South Africa put on a 7th rugby clinic at the Vancouver leg of World Rugby's 7th series to win a second successive tournament and 3rd out of 5 for the season. The Blitzboks swept aside Australia in the Cup semi-finals of the Canadian tournament before making short work of Spain in the final. It was a perfect weekend for South Africa as they moved level with Fiji on log points at the top of the series table with just one regular season tournament left to play in New York this coming weekend. They barely afforded the Spaniards the time to catch their breath as they ran in 3 tries before the break to lead 17-0 at halftime. The Blitzboks assistant king, Tristan Leeds, was the player of the final and underlying the hard work his team put into their game at the Canada Sevens.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend coming in, obviously having taken it game by game. We went undefeated in our pool and we just carried that momentum on to the playoffs. Penalty against.
There was no let up in the second half, with South Africa stifling Spain's every attempt to get into the game. The Blitzboks took the final 38-12 over Spain to follow up their tournament win in Perth. With one tournament left to play in New York before the World Championship rounds, the Blitzboks have recorded tournament wins in Cape Town, Perth, and now Vancouver. Blitzbok captain Impi Fesser is thrilled with the level the team is playing at.
Just an amazing feeling, just such a privilege to be able to play in finals and to pull the jersey over our head. Sometimes I think we take it for granted, but it's just an amazing feeling and just really grateful for it. We had a lot of changes, 6 changes from Perth to now, and the thing that we said we want to build is consistency. So I think we've shown that through and through, and we just need to keep on this momentum going into next week in New York.
On to football news. Esperance head coach Patrice Baumel has insisted his team will approach the upcoming Total Energies CAF Champions League quarter-final clash against Al Ahly with maximum intensity as preparations intensify for one of the most anticipated ties of the tournament. The Tunisian Giants are set to host the Egyptian record champions in the first leg at the Hamadi Agrebi Stadium in Rades on the 15th of March before traveling to Cairo for the return fixture on the 21st of March. Baumel stressed that Esperance must take full advantage of playing the opening match in front of their supporters if they hope to gain an advantage in the two-legged tie. On to boxing news. South African featherweight phenomenon Lerato Dlamini reveals a new sense of purpose despite a crushing cancellation of his world title shot against Angelo Leo. Lights out, Dlamini was scheduled to fight for the IBF World Championship on the 21st of February, but the sanctioning body summoned the champion into another mandatory defense and Dlamini's dream has been put on ice. In an exclusive conversation with SABC Sport, Dlamini reveals that he has processed the disappointment with a blend of purpose and professional discipline. Now back in training under the guidance of longtime manager and trainer Colin Nathan, Dlamini is preparing for a warm-up bout to maintain his activity, safeguard his rankings, and to be at the top of his game when he finally gets to fight for his dream. Let's end with tennis news. Jannik Sinner was dominant in his third-round clash at the Indian Wells Masters, while Leonard Teen upset fellow American Ben Shelton. Sinner was superlative on serve, offering up just one breakpoint opportunity in his 6-3, 6-2 victory over Denis Shapovalov. That opportunity came in the very first game of the match where the Canadian star broke Sinner's serve, but the Italian broke back immediately and it was plain sailing for the rest of the one-sided affair. Sinner says afterwards, Denis is a high-quality player, as everybody knows. Sinner will next face Brazilian João Fonseca, who defeated Tommy Paul in a similar dominant fashion, 6-2, 6-3. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Figile Ngwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Zilipendwa na Abedi Jean de la Croix.
Historia ya msikilizaji ya Valentine Day au siku ya wapendanao ilianzia katika nyakati za kale za dola la Roma. Watafiti wengi wa historia wanaamini kuwa siku hii inahusishwa na sherehe za kipagani zilizokuwa zikifanyika kila mwaka katikati ya mwezi Februari. Msikilizaji, sherehe hizo zilijulikana kama Lupercalia na zilifanyika kuadhimisha uzazi, upendo na mwanzo wa majira ya kuchipua.
Zilipendwa kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati hadi saa 1 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802.
35 minutes after 1 p.m. actually. 1 p.m. Yes. Train of thought? Yes. Catch myself? Yes, 35 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. Let's get the latest in business news. Hi, it's Monday.
Business news on Channel Africa. African perspective.
Good afternoon. Tunisia plans to expand its main Tunis Carthage airport at an estimated cost of about $1 billion, aiming to nearly quadruple passenger capacity as part of efforts to modernize air transport infrastructure. The Transport Ministry says that the project will increase the airport capacity from about 5 million passengers to 18.5 million annually by 2031. The ministry says that the expansion project has been included in the 2026 investment budget of the Civil Aviation and Airports Authority. As we count down to the launch of Channel Africa's event, Africa Matters, Professor of International Business and Strategy at Wits Business School Mosito is of the view that private sector could do more to contribute to climate finance in Africa. The institution has partnered with Channel Africa on the initiative. Africa Matters is a platform that aims to engage and find solutions on critical issues and development. Soko says that the institution has invited development finance institutions and commercial banks to participate in the launch in order to find ways to fast-track climate finance in Africa.
It is estimated that Africa needs between 187 and 359 billion US dollars annually for climate adaptation, but only 28 billion US dollars was mobilized globally for adaptation, recently. And then there's equally the problem of a debt burden that the African continent faces.
The South African Parliament's Joint Standing Committee on Financial Management has concluded that the appointment and remuneration of Secretary to Parliament Xolile George followed proper procedures. George earns a total annual package of approximately $264 million US dollars, in which has sparked controversy for exceeding President Cyril Ramaphosa's salary. Despite concerns, an audit by the Auditor General confirmed that no irregularities occurred in the appointment or salary determination process. The committee expressed disappointment at personal attacks against George and called for fairness in public commentary. The acting co-chairperson of the Joint Standing Committee on the Financial Management of Parliament is Cameron Dugmore.
The recruitment and appointment process and the context relating to the salary offered and then the subsequent adjustment, they found that there were no irregularities. So all of those facts have been presented. But even though certain members of the committee and of Parliament knew that the parliamentary committee was going to get this information, they proceeded to say all sorts of things in the public domain, such as that Mr. George increased his own salary, that there was corruption involved, and essentially attacked the integrity. Members can make comments but also understand the impact of false and untruthful commentary.
South Africa's Merafe Resources has reported a 72% slide in full-year profit after suspending operations at its ferrochrome smelters due to high electricity costs. Merafe's headline earnings per share fell to 12.2 South African cents in the year ended 31st of December 2025 from 42.9 previously. The company, which operates a ferrochrome joint venture with Glencore, idled its plants in April 2025, citing soaring power costs and increased competition from Chinese smelters. The US dollar has jumped as soaring oil prices sent investors scrambling for cash on worries that a protracted Middle East war could severely disrupt energy supplies and hurt global growth. The euro and sterling were left trading at 0.7% and 0.8% lower against the dollar respectively. The Aussie and even the safe haven Swiss franc both fell around 0.6%. For any business stories you would like to share with us, please send us an email. It's newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Across Africa, communities rise with the promise of clean water and clean sanitation. The African Union's 2026 theme calls us to action.
It's about mobilizing real commitments, securing climate-resilient water and sanitation projects, and ensuring that water becomes a driver of sustainable development and prosperity across the continent.
A landmark moment, not only for Africa, but for the global movement for access to safe water for all.
Assuring sustainable water availability for every home, every village, every nation. This is the Africa we want.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
6 decades strong, Channel Africa continues to inspire Africa and the world, proudly sharing
the African perspective.
That you cannot fix. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Finding a way when you cannot see. Man with this system, he cannot pray. I need to find relief. But behind my mind, it runs. All these thoughts have trouble me. Funny to give up my pain. Funny to be on my lane. My mind running to the other side. When it's time to leave my life, then it tries to take me out. Tell you what I need, right? Yeah, I really need my love. I need to free my love. I really need I I might be falling deep. I might be falling deep. I might be falling deep. Tell me now what you need. I've been going to God when I'm all in my mind. I might be falling deep. Falling deep.
Thames, free your mind. It's actually not free your mind, it's just free mind. Yes. Here's my thing right now with Thames. She's on fire. She is absolutely on fire. Right. And there is a song that I am absolutely addicted to at the moment. It's called Rain Dance by Dave, who's from the UK, and Thames. Listen to it. See if you've seen it on social media. If you know how to dance along, because there's a whole dance challenge with the song, dance along with us. Let's go.
Let's get the party started. See you at the bar, you was hardly talking. That's when I knew that your heart was scarring. Friends to lovers need a part to star in. Like, wait, babe, let me ask your pardon. This ain't Gucci, this is Prada, darling. If you want something, you can ask me, darling. And you started laughing, cause you think I'm joking. But looking in your eyes, that's the best thing. Bright lights giving you the red skin. You was in a bad mood when we stepped in. Though you checked out before we even checked in. On the phone, you gon' vent to your best friend, the one who gave me the lecture. But I ain't gon' sweat you, babe, I'm a lecture. Catch up with your boy, undress you, and let me tell you why I'm a blesser. When you singing it, better than Beyonce. I like the sound of fiance. You know it's got a little ring to it. And really when I think of it, growing up I didn't ever see marriages. No weddings, no horse, no carriages. I wanna do things different and change the narrative. God knows you are a wild child, beautiful child. I need your help. Looking like you come from the 90s by yourself. My mum's 61 and her favorite line to tell her son is sometimes she wished that she had a girl. I wanna take you back to a time, back to a trip. You had that white wine that I never got to sip. And dinner wasn't ruined cause you never got the pick. I know that everybody told me that I'm sick cause shimmy, shimmy, shimmy, yeah. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy, yeah.
Listen, what a hook, hey? I love that hook. Woo! It's the one. Listen to us remixing your favorite song.
See? Are you going to add it to your playlist now?
I am adding it, eh? Without a doubt.
10 minutes until 2 p.m. Central African time. Let's talk about the song, right? We're going to take a quick breather. Right. Then we're going to talk about the song very quickly. And then some more music coming your way.
Get the news, music, and lifestyle of Africa on Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you will be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Tebogo and Mmatsheko on the upside.
9 minutes before 2 p.m. Central African Time. Welcome to the Monday edition of The Upside. If you've just joined us, coming to you live from the Auckland Park studio in Johannesburg, South Africa. Stream us live on social media at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube, and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. And again, do yourself a favor, download that Channel Africa app so you can take us with you wherever you go on your Android or your iOS device. That song, Mmatsheko Mosito. Rain Dance, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Beautiful song. Beautiful song.
You know what's interesting about the art of listening to music is everybody hears something different. So I heard I love it, and you heard shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Love it for us. Come on now, don't leave me hanging. Hello.
Oh wow. Let's get a little slow there.
I love that.
So I don't know how I came across it, but I was just scrolling on social media, and it just started to, hey man, every dead post it's now rain dance. People are dancing to it, couples are dancing to it, friends are dancing to it, mom and daughter, father and son, they are dancing to it. I was like, okay, let me listen to it. And my goodness me, what a banger it is. Rain Dance by Dave, the artist from the UK and Thames. These artists are getting younger and younger, Mmatsheko. Dave is 27 years old. His name is, proper full name, is David Orobosa Michael Omoreji. Okay? He's from the UK. And he linked up with Thames on this one. And it's got over 30 million streams on YouTube. And it went to Billboard Top 100 number 1. And this was Dave's first Billboard number 1 ever since he started, with his music career. And I'm like, no, shout out. Because it's one of those, it's like, what is that song that came out quite a few years ago? I just can't remember the name of it. But it came out on the African continent, and it was just different from what everyone else was doing. It had a different feel, a different rhythm to it. It's like when you listen to Venus, Serotonin and Faceless, what, it went viral on social media because it was different. They're doing something different. This one, right now, it's right up there. My top 2026 songs at the moment, it's right up there.
It's a beautiful song, and I love how clean it is. Just clean. There isn't too many weird things going on. But I also wanted to say that artists, especially black artists, because there's still a lot of marginalization in the creative space that people are still very much afraid to talk about. But making it on such big charts as an African artist is a big deal. We don't talk enough about how big of a deal it is. And big ups to artists like Thames and other African artists that have been able to do that, because it's not an easy thing to get on those lists. It's really not easy. And besides the politics and the bureaucracy that govern these things, I mean, we're not going to go there because we'll need another 5 hours. But I think what is wonderful is that it puts the artists on the map. People are paying attention to those charts, and very, very important people that matter are paying attention to those charts. So for an artist, of African descent to make it on those international charts is a huge deal.
Humongous.
And we need to rave about it because it is not easy to get on those lists. So big up to Thames. I think that is wonderful that she's on the top 100.
Absolutely. No, brilliant.
It's a big deal.
If there are any other artists that you'd like us to have a listen to, like I said, I've never been a Dave fan. I didn't really know much of his music, but this one, I'm like, I must pay attention to this Dave guy. If there are any artists, any songs that perhaps we need to pay attention to, man, that represent Africa to its maximum, at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube, and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. Drop us a comment there below. AI, right, is developing, it's improving on a daily basis. It's enhancing on a scale that cannot even be measured. Teachers are also now using AI. Professors.
I'd be surprised. I'd be disappointed if they weren't.
They're using it. Yes, using it to analyze submitted scripts and essays from students to make sure that they didn't use AI, right? They use AI tools to say, okay, cool, check for me to see if this was actually written by a human being, right? But they are now also using it to grade paper. So because a lot of professors have to deal with hundreds and hundreds of essays, they don't have the time to individually, one by one, go read a person's essay over 1,000 words. They now throw it onto AI tool, and that AI tool, they give it commands and what, then it marks it for them. Is that a good idea? Do you think?
I think definitely. I'd be very disappointed if education as a sector is not using artificial intelligence, because we need efficiency. When you're marking papers, after the 25th script, you are over it. Your brain is on overdrive. I mean, you just cannot. So if you're going to be using artificial intelligence as a tool to assist you, I think that is very smart. It helps you with being efficient. And as long as you've trained this thing that you're using, whatever artificial intelligence program that you're using, as long as you've trained it so that it knows exactly what to look for, then I think we're onto something.
How did the teachers of old do it? How did the professors of old do it? Because right now that makes sense. Yeah. There are hundreds and hundreds of papers. After the 20th one, they're exhausted, they're tired. They can use a tool now. How did the teachers of old do it? They marked every single page, every single line. They went through it, and they even added notes to it. Are we just living in a different time zone where our capacity and our ability to concentrate for longer has now diminished?
I think you've answered the question. Absolutely. It's a capacity thing. And teachers back then didn't have 6 other side hustles and smartphones and distractions and all sorts of things that are going on in modern world right now as you and I speak. Were not there back then. It was a little bit simpler. You just had the one job and you focused on that. I don't know, it was just simpler. There was something about a particular era where levels of focus were a little bit different. Now, you've got 3 side hustles on top of your teaching job. You've got 6 children with their own side hustles. There's other mental conditions that were not a thing back then. I don't know if they existed and we just didn't know about them, but autism and all these other things that people have to deal with right now in this modern world. At their grown age, you hear about these different neurodivergent conditions. So many contributing factors to where we are right now. But I would be very disappointed if people in human resources are not using artificial intelligence to scan a million CVs a day. If teachers are not using artificial intelligence to go through these scripts on a daily basis, I mean, it will be a crisis.
Absolutely. And shout out to the people of old. No, they were actually superhuman beings. Including the fact that they never really had maps, like
there was no GPS.
What GPS and ways that we have.
Oh my goodness, how did they do that?
I can't tell you how many times back in my schooling years I used to play sport. I was like, and I reflect back, like my dad used to take me to weird places around South Africa, and every single time he got there, I reflect back on it now. I'm like, how there was no map. There was no. How did you do it? 2 p.m. Central African time. Let's get the latest news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Top stories: Asaba, Senegal's president seeks to succeed the UN Secretary General, and reports of clashes involving Israeli forces in Lebanon's eastern border area. Good afternoon. I'm Jolani Tulo Mwebe. Political commentator Mighty Jamie has questioned Senegalese President Macky Sall's moral and leadership record in his quest to run for the position of the United Nations Secretary General. Sall has officially declared his candidacy, seeking to succeed Antonio Guterres, whose term ends in late 2026. Sall's candidacy was put forward by Burundi, which currently holds the rotating presidency of the African Union. His bid has drawn criticism at home, with opponents accusing his government of repression. Sall, who led Senegal from 2012 to 2024, faces allegations that his administration violently suppressed political demonstrations in his final years, resulting in dozens of deaths. Mighty Jamie dismissed Sall's bid.
I would negate this to the lowest number within that negative scale. I don't think that Macky Sall is somebody who has the moral record or the leadership record to try to take up this very significant diplomatic position on the global stage. Typically, I would support African leaders who are trying to take a position of global leadership. But I am particularly concerned about how he tried to extend his term of office, and particularly some of the decisions that he made in Senegal.
South Africa's suspended Inspector General Imtiaz Faisal has informed Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating allegations of criminal infiltration and political interference that he will not be able to testify before it. Faisal says both President Cyril Ramaphosa and the Minister of Police, Firoz Kachalia, have also rejected his application to give evidence before the committee. The committee's evidence leader, Advocate Norman Arendse, read details of Faisal's letter.
I am not lawfully entitled to disclose the relevant classified information to the ad hoc committee or answer any questions that may be posed by members of the committee. On Friday, 6 March 2026, I received 2 letters from the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence containing letters from the Minister in the Presidency and the Acting DG of the State Security Agency. Copies of these letters are also attached. It is clear that both the Minister and the Acting DG are opposed to me appearing before the committee at this stage. In the circumstances, I cannot appear before the committee.
Tensions have flared at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry as Northwest businessman Suleiman Karim's lawyer, Camille Premid, clashed with the secretary over seating arrangements. The commission investigating allegations of criminal infiltration and political interference in South Africa's criminal justice system resumed after ruling against Karim's application to testify in camera, citing death threats. Chairperson Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga sought to address the heated altercation that took place earlier between Karim's lawyer and the Commission's secretary.
It was brought to our attention that there was an altercation inside the auditorium. It has also since been brought to our attention that this is now all over television. For the record, I think in the light of the broadcast, I should bring it to the public that we called all the legal representatives outside, and we were briefly advised as to what had taken place. But most importantly, Mr. Premhid tendered an unequivocal apology to the Commission Secretary, which the Commission Secretary accepted.
The death toll from heavy rains and flooding in Kenya's capital Nairobi and elsewhere has nearly doubled to 42. Intense rains on Friday unleashed heavy and widespread flooding, causing some people to drown, washing away vehicles and disrupting traffic at the country's largest airport. The previous death toll was at 23. There are reports of clashes involving Israeli forces in Lebanon's eastern border. Lebanon's national news agency said Israeli forces had landed helicopters on the heights of the eastern mountain range and were trying to advance. The Iranian-backed militant group Hezbollah claimed it had downed one of the helicopters, but this has not been confirmed. The BBC's Weera Davies has the details.
Israel says it has conducted more than 100 airstrikes over the last 24 hours across Lebanon, including against what it said was a Hezbollah military compound in the Dahia area of southern Beirut. Israel's bombing campaign has intensified well beyond the exclusion zone it has declared in parts of the capital and in southern border areas. A campaign which the Lebanese Health Ministry says has killed almost 400 people and displaced more than 500,000 civilians. In the eastern Bekaa Valley, there were reports of another significant Israeli military incursion involving helicopters and ground troops.
Recapping the top story, the Sawa political commentator Mighty Jamie has questioned Senegalese President Macky Sall's moral and leadership record in his quest to run for the position of United Nations Secretary General. Sall has officially declared his candidacy, seeking to succeed Antonio Guterres, whose term ends in late 2026. For any news stories you would like to share with us, please do send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 For Channel Africa News, I'm Cholani Tulo Mwepe.
News. The African perspective. Time to stay informed, inspired, and connected to the ideas driving Africa forward. The Upside on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
7 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African Times, the second hour, the golden hour of the Monday edition of The Upside, your gateway to the good life on Channel Africa, the African perspective, with me, Tebogo Lekhuleni, and Mmatsheko Mosito, still coming to you live from the Auckland Park Studios in Johannesburg, South Africa. Stream us on social media, where we are streaming live at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube, and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. If you'd like to revisit some of our conversations, go to www.channelafrica.co.za and download our Channel Africa app so you can take us with you wherever you go on your Android or your iOS device. Mmatsheko Mosito, we are catching eyes in this hour.
Absolutely. What caught your eye? This is a segment we dedicate to just anything that is worthy of us talking about, whether it was trending or whether we would like to see a trend as the tastemakers on this program. Or anything else in between, all right? Newsmakers, the world of influencers is a big deal these days. So we're going to look at that and more. I want to go back to a story that it's not losing its flavor. This is a woman that's been trending for the last 2 weeks or so.
Okay.
But I want to talk about her because I think she's raising some very interesting issues in my head.
Okay, and I'm going to West Africa because there are a few concerns that we need to raise. Don't go anywhere. What caught your eye is coming up next.
Baby girl, tell me what you want. It's right here, I got what you need. Leo mama kilo de suma bakali. Say what? I want to I want to I want to give them the most to buy. I'm on the way, I'm not too far. All my sexy ladies won't go down. The 31 place they want to knock. It's not the same way that I go. Tell the DJ to run it back there to carry problem from body back.
Dibanj coming through there with Koko featuring Akon. 10 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African Time.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Your afternoons just got even better. Fresh and exciting.
The Upside, hooking you up with today's news
from an African perspective.
Unzima ubomi ungalahli ithemba abantu bohleka mawungahluleka unzima ubomi ungalahli ithemba abantu bohleka mawungahluleka mawungaphelele endleleni wena ungafele emadelweni abantu bohleka mawungahluleka mawungaphelele endleleni wena ungafele emadelweni abantu bohleka mawungahluleka Nkosi noma ngihlupheka lapha emhlabeni anginanda Nkosi mhlawumbe ngiyobusa ezulwini mangifika lapho Nkosi noma ngilambile lapha emhlabeni anginanda Nkosi mhlawumbe ngiyosutha ezulwini mangifika lapho ngishiya ngithembile laluphumuleba ngishiya ngithembile uma uyakhumbula sisibhale emehlweni sisumbasheleye angeke ngize ngifike lo mhlaba unzima kodwa ngiyobusa nje ezulwini ma ngifika lapho mawungaphelele endleleni wena ungafele emadelweni abantu bohleka mawungahluleka mawungaphelele endleleni wena ungafele emadelweni abantu bohleka mawungahluleka
Sungaphela umoya mjakaba noma ngizima wena diyabalasa bazofika vela banamanga bethi ithemba likho ngoba sebalala vele impilo inzima nami ngiyazi sikhule ngakho phela ukuzabalaza siphila impilo yamahashahasha zange sami iphupho thanda ukushabalala manje ngithi beka ithemba lakho kumdala noma kunzima kanjani noma kuthanda ukuba mnyama kuzokhanya ungalinge nje uphele namandla vele konke sikwenzayo asikwenzela abantu bazohleka mawudluleka manje mina lami lithi phokophela mjaka baba umdala uyophendula nyazi
abantu bohleka mawungahluleka mawungaphelele endleleni wena ungafele emadelweni abantu bohleka mawungahluleka
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa.
Papa told me keep your head up high. Even though your body full of bite marks from all them canines. Steady moving, I'm just living life. And so many people in my business, so many joking eyes. My fears are easier to face now. In the front of my head, steady chasing my paper. Sipping my tail with no chaser. My steps are guided by Jehovah. I'm 44 looking over. Then no peace stop us and know now. And every show is a short time. Cause I stand strong. Baby, you no go minus. Baby, you LME 9 plus. Big fish flow like the ocean. Oh, I'm one stand strong. Getting busy day my back up. Baby, you LME 9 plus. Can't deny my devotion. Oh, cause I stand strong. Baby, you no go minus. Baby, you LME 9 plus. Can't deny my devotion. Oh, look in my eye. You see the money and the fame and success, but you really don't know what's going on in my life. In my life. What's going on in my life? No pleasure comes from pain. No money fall like rain. This thing they cost my grain, but it's all love. My fears are easier to face now. In the front of my head, steady chasing my paper. Sipping my tail with no chaser. My steps are guided by Jehovah. And my mama looking over. Yes, we rest by it in order. And that is the law of the lantern. Oh, cause I stand strong. Baby, you no go minus. Baby, you LME 9 plus. Big fish flow like the ocean. Oh, I'm one stand strong. Getting me day my back up. Baby, you LME 9 plus. Can't deny my devotion. Oh, cause I stand strong. Baby, you no go minus. Baby, you LME 9 plus. Can't deny my devotion. Oh, cause I stand strong. Baby, you no go minus. Baby, you LME 9 plus. Can't deny my devotion.
Oh, Africa, let's stand strong. Davido on that one, featuring the Sunday Service Choir. 18 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. We get ready now for What Caught Your Eye. By the way, you're more than welcome to chime in on social media. At Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube, and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. Just comment there below on our videos. What caught your eye? So we can feature it and perhaps even, not perhaps, read it live on air. If you have a what caught your eye that you'd like to share with us, again, that social media handle at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube, and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. Our social media team is on the lookout. If you do drop us a comment there, we'll read it out loud on what caught your eye. And while you're at it, let us know where you are streaming us from on this beautiful Monday afternoon. Let's take a quick breather. When we get back, it will be time for What Caught Your Eye.
As Africa renews, so does its voices. 60 years of Channel Africa. Africa is changing, and the world is paying attention. This March, Channel Africa invites you to be part of a new conversation. Africa Matters. A platform where experts, policymakers, and thought leaders come together to unpack the big issues of our time. Technology, politics, economics, climate change, and the future of our people. This is where ideas meet action, where change becomes opportunity, where Africa's voice takes its rightful place on the global stage. In March 2026, Channel Africa hosts Africa Climate Change Recovery Summit. Join the dialogue. Be part of the movement. Channel Africa, the African perspective. This is The Upside for Africa's most exciting content on the radio.
21 minutes, actually 20 past 2 p.m. Central African time. Yeah, no, my Monday today. Hi, it's very interesting. Anyway.
Same. Hey, I don't know. I don't know. I'm floating elsewhere today.
It's time for What Caught Your Eye. Here's what caught my eye. You're familiar that in around the world, our favorite chocolate, or not favorite, chocolate comes from very select parts of Africa, most of them. Cacao comes from about 60-70% of the cacao globally, where it's sourced, comes from West Africa, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, right? That is going to be a problem very soon because, as it stands, there appears to be a lack of buyers of cacao in those regions. There was a time when cacao had skyrocketed in prices, almost up to $12,000 per ton. And this was due to demand and supply. And at that time, there was shortage and everyone wanted cacao. They needed cacao. Your favorite chocolate makers, they needed cacao. And then it dropped drastically. And so a lot of buyers on the market were hoping that, okay, cool, I can now buy it perhaps cheaper, whatever the case may be. And it just didn't happen. The instability of the prices were a problem. We're now sitting with people in Ivory Coast and in Ghana, farmers who have unsold cacao just stacked up and rotting because they don't have people to sell it to. And one of the bigger factors or bigger roles that government is playing is they do a thing called a price or a farm gate pricing. This is the amount of money that the farmers get paid. A lot of the farmers are unhappy with those prices because, here they are producing this cacao, contributing to a multi-billion rand industry, yet they are not benefiting themselves. And so the prices that are set by the governments in those countries is not enough for the farmers to keep the farm running. Now they are looking for other crop to invest in because clearly the cacao market is not one that is sustainable. We can't let that happen. Cacao comes from Africa. We enjoy chocolate. We need to do something about it. The governments need to review their farm gate pricing model and the caps that the ceilings that they put on those. And it's called actually farm gate, if you didn't know. It's called farm gate pricing because the deal is struck right there on the farm. Right there at the gate. Like, okay, cool. Mmatsheko, you've got cacao for us. You've got how many tons? Okay, 2 tons. I'll give you $5. And you are saying to me, I can't do anything with that $5. I can't take care of my family. I can't continue growing, taking care of the crop. It's not worth my time. Therefore, I now need to look at other crop. But we can't let that happen as Africans. We can't let that happen. And the governments need to look at how they compensate these farmers. They contribute a lot and they need to be compensated for it. That's what caught my eye.
Well, that is a tragic story. I think exploitation in agriculture is a huge problem. Really, it is.
Big time. Needs to change.
That's very heartbreaking, really. And just back to your thought around us using our own resources, raw materials, and creating our own goods and servicing our own needs.
Absolutely.
I think that's a good route to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah? And not just talk about it on social media. Actually do it.
Actually support. Yeah.
Crystal Ayeti. Have you heard of that celebrity in your life before?
No.
I call her a celebrity because it's like an overnight success, right? She went viral not so long ago after claiming that she runs a business where women can hire her to beat a man, as she puts it. And I'm not laughing at beating a man. I'm laughing at, how enthusiastic she was in a recent interview talking about how women can hire her to beat a man, men who have been accused of abusing their women. And it has sparked quite a lot of debate. She's gone viral, right? This particular, in that context, because I know there are other things that happen, but just that piece alone has gone viral on social media. In her home country of Uganda and in many parts of South Africa where we are, people are talking about Ayeti Crystal, as she's known, or Crystal Aleti, but she's known as Ayeti Crystal online, right?
Okay.
So she basically says, listen, if you see a man who's not treating you well, he's beating you, he's scamming you, he's doing all these things to you, you just phone me. And her number, as I understand it, is actually on her TikTok. So she's very accessible and she's got a goal to beat 1,000 men by the year 2025. 27, right? 2027, right? So she's a girl with a dream. She's a girl with a goal. But let's talk about this goal, because she is going to be beating these men. I've seen a lot of people laugh about it. I've seen people call her a hero. But are we not dealing with vigilantism here? What kind of justice is this? Because there's this double standard about that, if you really think about it. If it were the other way around, if a man was going around saying, I want to beat a woman for whatever reason, listen, they'd be hell. That's for sure. There would be a big problem. There'd be uproar. There'd be protests. There'd be all sorts of things happening if a man went on a podcast and said, I want to beat a woman, right? So here is Miss Crystal going online and saying she wants to do that. So I guess the big question then around that should be questioning this double standard. We're witnessing a new form of activism. Is that what this is? A new form of activism? Or are we starting to normalize violent behavior and using violence to curb violence, or using violence as a solution to violence? Do you know what I mean? Like there are huge problems with this approach, and going on podcasts and going viral for saying you want to beat a man. Just for context, actually, I want us to play a clip of Ayeti Crystal saying she wants to go around and do this.
So I recently started a business where I beat men. So you are in a violent relationship. This boyfriend is trying to scam you. You're confused about him. He's cheating on you. He's beating you up. It's actually given me more money than any content creation gig has ever given me. Like, I've gotten so many clients from TikTok, and I'm so grateful, you guys. Shout out to you, babes. I love you. My girl is from TikTok. You guys have really, really kept the lights on in my house. So yeah, I beat them up properly. I have a group of people that I work with to like beat them back into like shape. Do you understand? These men who go out and drink and then they are at a random kafunda, they just point me towards the kafunda. Do you understand? Jump on a call with me. My number is in my bio on TikTok, as a matter of fact. Wake me up at midnight to beat a man. Please, give me that opportunity. So I have a goal. In all this, I have a goal. I want to be able to beat at least 1,000 men by 20. So
that is Miss actually, she's on TikTok. I'm on her TikTok now. The Aleti Crystal, or at the Aleti. At the Aleti. Almost at the real Aleti. At the Aleti is who she is on TikTok. Maybe you can come up with a different solution. Her email address is there. I don't think you should contact her so she can come and beat your man. I don't think that's a solution, in my personal opinion. But I'm sure you can contact her for other business.
Well, that's what she's offering.
And no. I'm sure we can relook at that. We can be on a consultative call and look at that, because this, where I come from, would be vigilantes, straight up. Vigilante justice is what this would be. And I don't think that that's the solution, using violence to cure violence. I mean, in what planet does that work?
We need to get in touch with her. We need to get in touch with her as the upside and have a proper conversation.
Are you not scared of her?
You're
not scared of her?
You're here to protect me. I'm fine.
Wow.
And then, I also would love to hear reviews. You know how when you use a product or a service, there are reviews. There are people who do 5-star, 3-star. I want to see reviews. I want to hear people who have used the services give us feedback on how it all went. Yeah, can't wait to hear that. Beta man. How many? 1,000?
Come on. Give me that opportunity.
Beta man.
Please.
Please wake me up at 1. Beta. Hey. 30 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. Hey, that's what caught our eye. Let's get the latest sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Let's kick off with rugby news. South Africa put on a 7th rugby clinic at the Vancouver League of World Rugby 7 series to win a second successive tournament and a third out of 5 for the season. The Blitzboks swept aside Australia in the Cup semi-finals of the Canadian tournament before making short work of Spain in the final. It was a perfect weekend for South Africa as they moved level with Fiji on log points at the top of the series table with just one regular season tournament left to play in New York this coming weekend. They barely afforded the Spaniards the time to catch their breath as they ran in 3 tries before the break to lead 17-0 at halftime. The Blitzboks assistant king, Tristan Leeds, was the player of the final and underlined the hard work his team put into their game at the Canada Sevens.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend coming in, obviously having taken game by game. We went undefeated in our pool and we just carried that momentum on to the playoffs. Penalty against.
There was no let-up in the second half, with South Africa stifling Spain's every attempt to get into the game. The Blitzboks took the final 38-12 over Spain to follow up their tournament win in Perth. With one tournament left to play in New York before the World Championship rounds, the Blitzboks have recorded tournament wins in Cape Town, Perth, and now Vancouver. Blitzbok captain Impi Fesser is thrilled with the level the team is playing at.
Just an amazing feeling, just such a privilege to be able to play in finals and to pull the jersey over our head. Sometimes I think we take it for granted, but yeah, it's just an amazing feeling and just really grateful for it. You know, we had a lot of changes, 6 changes from Perth to now, and the thing that we said we want to build is consistency, so I think we've shown that through and through, and yeah, we just need to keep on this momentum going into next week in New York.
On to Olympics, Nicole Berger says she is proud to have represented South Africa after making history as the country's first woman to compete in Olympic skeleton at the Winter Olympics. The South African Sports Confederation and Olympic Committee, SASCOC, sent the largest ever contingent to Milano Cortina 2026 with 5 athletes competing across alpine skiing, freestyle skiing, cross-country and skeleton. Nicole Berger finished within the top 25 in the skeleton event on one of the fastest tracks in the world. Berger says it's incredible for the country to have sent 5 athletes to the games and is hoping that the country can show that there are winter athletes that can compete.
I think it's still trying to sink in, actually, sort of going to the games, being there, experiencing and soaking up all the atmosphere. But yeah, looking back, I think it's just, I'm incredibly proud, first of all, to represent South Africa on that stage. To pioneer winter sports as well, sort of having 5 athletes this games is incredible for South Africa. So I'm hoping that, I don't know, we sort of showed the world that South Africa is here. We have winter athletes and we're going to compete, and hopefully this will just sort of be getting stronger with more athletes in the future.
On to boxing, South African featherweight phenom Lerato Dlamini reveals a new sense of purpose despite a crushing cancellation of his world title shot against Angelo Leo. Lights Out Dlamini was scheduled to fight for the IBF World Championship on the 21st of February, but the sanctioning body summoned the champion into another mandatory defense, and Dlamini's dream has been put on ice. In an exclusive conversation with SABC Sport, Dlamini reveals that he has processed the disappointment with a blend of purpose and professional discipline. Now back in training under the guidance of longtime manager and trainer Colin Nathan, Dlamini is preparing for a warm-up bout to maintain his activity, safeguard his rankings, and to be at the top of his game when he finally gets to fight for his dream. Finally, tennis news. Jannik Sinner was dominant in his third-round clash at the Indian Wells Masters, while Leonard Teen upset fellow American Ben Shelton. Sinner was superlative on serve, offering up just one breakpoint opportunity in his 6-3, 6-2 victory over Denis Shapovalov. That opportunity came in the very first game of the match, where the Canadian star broke Sinner's serve. But the Italian broke back immediately, and it was plain sailing for the rest of the one-sided affair. Sinner says afterwards, Denis is a high-quality player, as everybody knows. Sinner will next face Brazilian João Fonseca, who defeated Tommy Paul in a similar dominant fashion, 6-2 and 6-3. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Fikile Lingwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Parlez-vous couramment le français? Êtes-vous passionné par la radio? Et êtes-vous qualifié pour travailler en Afrique du Sud? Envoyez-nous votre CV et vos 3 minutes démo en MP3 à @channelafrica.co.za pour avoir une chance de rejoindre la famille Channel Africa. Si vous n'avez pas de réponse après 14 jours, cela signifie que vous n'avez pas été retenu. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Mmatsheko Mosito and Tebogo Lekhuleni on the upside.
35 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. Let's get the latest business news. Mr. Golden Voice, Thabiso Lehuku, is standing by.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thanks, Tebogo, and good afternoon. Tunisia plans to expand its main Tunis Carthage airport at an estimated cost of about $1 billion, aiming to nearly quadruple passenger capacity as part of efforts to modernize air transport infrastructure. The Transport Ministry says that the project will increase the airport's capacity from about 5 million passengers to 18.5 million annually by 2031. The ministry says that the expansion project has been included in the 2026 investment budget of the Civil Aviation and Airports Authority. The South African Parliament's Joint Standing Committee on Financial Management has concluded that the appointment and remuneration of Secretary to Parliament Xolile George followed proper procedures. George earns a total annual package of approximately $264 million, which has sparked controversy for exceeding President Cyril Ramaphosa's salary. Despite concerns, an audit by the Auditor General confirmed that no irregularities occurred in its appointment or a salary determination process. The committee expressed disappointment at personal attacks against George and called for fairness in public commentary. The acting co-chairperson of the Joint Standing Committee on the Financial Management of Parliament is Cameron Dugmore.
The recruitment and appointment process and the context relating to the salary offered and then the subsequent adjustment, they found that there were no irregularities. So all of those facts have been presented. But even though certain members of the committee and of Parliament knew that the parliamentary committee was going to get this information, they proceeded to say all sorts of things in the public domain, such as that Mr. George increased his own salary, that there was corruption involved, and essentially attacked the integrity. Members can make comments but also understand the impact of false and untruthful commentary.
The shortage of specialized artisans in South Africa continues to hamper economic development and global competitiveness. These are some of the concerns highlighted at the 2026 World Skills South Africa National Competition, Conference and Career Festival. The 5-day event being held in Durban brings together 200 students from various TVET colleges nationwide to compete in 27 artisan skills. The event also allows delegates comprising of policymakers, career experts and young people to deliberate on issues pertaining youth development. Department of Higher Education and Training Acting Deputy Director David Mabusela says that the aim is to seek solutions in closing gaps in scarce skills through expanding the country's TVET colleges sector. As we count down to the launch of Channel Africa's event, Africa Matters, Professor of International Business and Strategy at Wits Business School, Mils Soko, is of the view that the private sector could do more to contribute to climate finance in Africa. The institution has partnered with the Channel Africa's initiative. Africa Matters is a platform that aims to engage and find solutions on critical issues and development. Soko says the institution has invited development finance institutions and commercial banks to participate in the launch in order to find ways to fast-track climate finance in Africa. Oil prices have surged over $119 a barrel, hitting levels not seen since mid-2022. Brent crude futures were up at $13.2 or 14% at $105.71 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were up $12.16 or 13% at $103.6. In a whiplash session, Brent had earlier hit a high of $119.50 a barrel, indicating the biggest ever absolute price jump in a single day. And WTI reached $119.48 a barrel. $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 389. In Botswana, it's at 13.38. Kenya, 128 shillings 60. And Zambia, 19 kwacha 208. The BRICS countries in Brazil, the dollar will cost you 5.25. Russia, 79 rubles 10. India, 91 rupees 85. China, 61.90. And in South Africa, the dollar will cost you 16 rand 54 cents. 75 pence to the British pound and 86 to the euro. Gold, $5,094 and platinum, $2,099 per ounce. Brent crude oil is at $107.72 a barrel. For any business stories you would like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business in Johannesburg, I'm Thabiso Lohoko.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Es-tu préoccupé par quelque chose? Es-tu passionné par les questions qui comptent? As-tu une voix qui mérite d'être entendue? Eh bien, nous avons la plateforme parfaite pour toi. Téléphone-nous ou fais-nous un WhatsApp au +27 66 408 87 42 et nous te rappellerons. Sois dans la conversation.
Salut Channel Africa, ici Beno le diamant rouge et Bina l'export depuis le Cameroun, le pays des lions. Voilà.
Sois dans la conversation. Il ne s'agit pas seulement de parler, mais c'est ta chance d'exprimer ton point de vue, de partager tes opinions et de t'engager avec une communauté qui valorise ton avis. Suivez-nous sur les réseaux sociaux, visitez notre site www.channelafrica.co.za et préparez-vous à partager vos points de vue sur Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Tebogo and Mmatsheko from the upside. Side, live and real.
Fire, fire, fire, fire. It's your boy, Ervinho, eh. Light boy. Eh. Gringa, gringa, gringa, gringa, eh. Fire, fire, fire, fire. Baby, shake your waist. Get it, show me the way. Gringa, gringa, gringa, gringa, eh. Fire, fire, fire, fire. C'est pas du tout compliqué. Bouge le waist sur mon tempo, eh. Oh yeah, baby, coco loco. I show you my coco loco. Dance color, you making me color, hey. Baby coco loco, I show you my choco. Baby do it my boy, now dance my coco loco, hey. Ah coco loco, hey. Ah coco loco, on se fatigue pas c'est du coco loco, hey. Ah coco loco, oh yeah. Ah coco loco, hey. Coco loco, na patina hot do coco loco, hey oui, coco loco, hey. Ah coco loco, de l'homme à baby coco loco. Dancing, coco loco. You racing to London, coco loco. Race. Back a coco, give me vibe hot, eh. Sweetie face, original nyasho, eh. Fine girl, eh. Do that thing, do your thing, eh. Fine girl, why you do your thing, oh yeah, baby coco loco. I show you my coco loco, dance color, you making me color, hey. Baby coco loco, I show you my choco, baby do it my boy, now dance my coco loco, hey. Ah coco loco, hey. Ah coco loco, Naja baby now dance na coco loco, hey. Ah coco loco, oh yeah, ah coco loco, hey. Coco loco, na patina hot do coco loco, ibe coco loco, Kenya baby you kill him my coco loco, the pigeon à Paris, coco loco, and the dancing my coco loco, Tanzania Uganda, coco loco.
49 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African Time, Coco Loco by Rivenio. And before that, we had Ndawana. I think it was by Sha. We had Kelvin Momo on that one as well. We're going to take a quick breather. When we get back, there'll be more music. It's a Monday. I want to keep it nice and light, right? Enjoy your Monday. No Monday blues here. So stay locked in on Channel Africa for beautiful music, amazing conversations at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube, and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. Do yourself a favor, download our Channel Africa app so you can take us with you wherever you go on your Android or your iOS device.
No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
Ritmos e cultura. Com Jacob Tivani.
E os ouvintes do Ritmos e Cultura, hoje em linha com uma das grandezas da música moçambicana, porque não? Ele que é um dos kings da marrabenta, uma bermuda in the building.
É um prazer enorme estar a fazer parte deste programa. Deixe-me só saudar. Boa tarde a todos os ouvintes que me ouvem neste preciso momento. Meu nome é Uma Bermuda, de Alau Fanelo Estarapo, Gajo de Água da Fanhela é Mabiscato. Eu vou saudar de uma maneira diferente. Ah, tita buia, mwanango, tiduma tifika giane. Ah, tita buia, mwanango, tiduma tifika giane. Ani motive lo ababa yena otiva mina haikonama. Ani motive lo anona yena otiva wahimbo wadwa. Cá estou eu, irmão, para conversarmos, para falarmos um pouco de tudo. Estou aqui, estou aberto. Eu estou muito feliz porque é a primeira vez que eu falo nesta rádio, falo para os ouvintes, então estou muito feliz.
Ritmos e cultura com Jacob Tivani. Todos os domingos, das 20 às 21 horas.
The voice of the continent, now online, with all your sports fixtures, lifestyle, and more.
Charge my energy, I no get time for no enemy. expecting. Take our body, I jump. I take her to the person. I'm in the answer, then yes, sir. Then I'm in the answer, yes, sir. Respect is reciprocal, even though una know say I'm special. Anybody, we no want to surgery. Anybody, we no the carry body. I can't something, I can't something. Go back to fele, I can't something. You want your bed, you never walk. Should not because myself, I never talk. I look you, they laugh, you go. I shall no say the time go come, mama, I no say the time go come. When you know go fit the line, oh mama, life not done by done. Whether you like or not, go back to me, you best go pass. So yeah, keep me jack on bow. Anybody, when no one to surgery. Anybody, when no the carry body. I can't something, I can't something. Go back to fele, I can't something. Money soon expected. Take our body, I jump. I take her to the person. I'm in the answer, then yes, sir. Then I'm in the answer, yes, sir. Respect is reciprocal, even though una know say I'm special. Anybody, we no want to surgery. Anybody, we no the carry body. I can't something, I can't something. Go back to fele, I can't something.
Let the Upside transport you from Cape to Cairo every weekday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
Sugar daddy, yeah, yeah, dele dale, yeah. Puff puff pass, my Mary Jane. I'm high on life, wanna meditate. So allow me, make I enjoy life. Cause problem not the finish, oh eh. Every day different wahala. Problem not the finish, oh eh. I just wanna party every day. I just wanna party every day. So pass me the dutchie. Pretty girl, come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl, make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Pass me the dutchie. Pretty girl, come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl, make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Shut up and bend over. Let your back do the talking over. So back up and bend over. Let your back do the talking over. Say, I want to chop my life. I want to be happy. I want to dance and party. Feel the rhythm of my body. I just wanna party every day. I just wanna party every day. So pass me the dutchie. Pretty girl, come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl, make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Pass me the dutchie. Pretty girl, come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl, make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Puff puff pass, my Mary Jane. I'm high on life, wanna meditate. So allow me, make I enjoy life. Cause problem not the finish, oh eh. Every day different wahala. Problem not the finish, oh. Pass me the dutchie. Pretty girl, come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl, make it touch it, touch it.
4 minutes to go before 3 p.m. Central African Time. Touch It by Kid D. And before that, we had Anybody by Burna Boy. Oh man, happy Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Upside this afternoon. Your gateway to the good life on Channel Africa, the African perspective. Still live on social media at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube, and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. Do you remember the former president of Botswana?
Ian Khama.
Yes. Yes, remember him? He's about 73 years old now. Okay. And South Africa's president is, I think, similar age, around in the 70s, if not 76, somewhere there. Why is this man, he should be retired, Ian Khama? Why are we seeing him doing military workouts in Botswana? Man is moving from one pole to another, doing pull-ups, and at 73, Mmatsheko. The fittest 73-year-old I've ever seen, and a former president. I don't know if we have any other presidents or former presidents on the African continent that could go, toe for toe with him in a ring or in a race, because my goodness me, he looks good. I'm inspired.
It was my favorite thing to watch over a bowl of popcorn this weekend, watching Ian Khama swinging from all sorts
you
of
saw
ropes.
That?
Oh my goodness, it was very entertaining. But listen, I mean, you age how you want to.
He's always been
You have power over that.
But he's always been a daredevil, though. Ian Khama.
Well, there's that as well.
He's always been a daredevil, because I remember watching quite a few years ago the British motoring show called Top Gear with about Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May. They had a special in Botswana, and he arrived on the I think it's the Khadi plains. He arrived, the salt plains. He arrived there in a paragliding thingy. I can't remember what it was. He was flying from the sky. That's how he arrived. He was there like this, and he arrived, and his security for protection service were around him on ATVs, quad bikes. I'm like, you have to be like the coolest president ever. Like your level of cool is unprecedented. And I think
done.
I think he is the coolest former president we've ever had, and simply the fittest. Well, clearly the fittest right now. If there's another one, let us know. If there's another president that you know of, or former president, that is as fit, as active as Ian, please let us know.
But for me, it's also just, this is a lesson for any golden oldie that's trying to hold on to power. You see, there's so many other exciting things you can do with your life. You can zip line, you can bungee jump in your 80s. Wow. You absolutely can. You don't need to hang on to power for dear life. I mean, really.
And life is not over when you reach retirement age. For many people, it's, now I'm done. I must sit down and sit on a porch, and that's it. That's my life. No, look at him, 73. Doing bungee jumping and swinging and all these weird things.
For him.
Oh, man. Anyway, shout out to him. It's gone 3 p.m. Central African time. We've entered the final hour of The Upside. Let's get the latest news. I think it is Jolani Tulongwepe standing by.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Top stories. Asawa, Guinea's main opposition leader, reacts to the latest decree, and a former mayor of Istanbul goes on trial. Good afternoon. I'm Jolani Tulongwepe. Guinea's main opposition leader, Silo Dalien Diallo, says a war has been openly declared on President Mamadi Doumbouya's challenges. This comes after Doumbouya's administration issued a decree on Friday that 40 party headquarters and local offices would be closed, and use of the logos, acronyms and other distinctive signs would be prohibited. The decree said the parties had failed to meet legal obligations such as filing financial statements. In a social media post, Diallo says direct resistance to the country's top coup leader turned president was now the only way to bring about change. Businessman of South Africa's Northwest Province, Suleiman Karim, has told the Madlanga Commission that he was advised to falsely suggest he had political influence in order to recover money he had invested in a police services tender. The commission investigating allegations of criminal infiltration and political interference in the criminal justice system. Karim has reflected on his encounters with attempted murder accused Vusumuzi Kat Matlala. He says the meetings led him to give Matlala a $601,000 investment linked to a contract to provide medical services to the police service. Karim says the arrangement collapsed, and after failing to receive payment, businessman Brown Mokhotsi advised him to tell Matlala he had a close relationship with the police minister in order to gain leverage. Karim told the commission he was unaware of the relationship between Mokhotsi and Matlala.
Brown advised me that in order to keep Vusi, I should inform Vusi that I have a good and direct relationship with the minister and his office. I advised Brown that this was a joke because I had no relationship with either the minister or his office. Brown's reasoning was that I should make Vusi believe that I have a relationship with the minister's office and that he would communicate directly with the minister's offices if, when, and required. Brown was clear that this was required and calculated to make Vusi believe that my involvement and my assistance with the minister and his office would be crucial. And therefore, Vusi would therefore need me to pay me my money, or would need to pay me my money.
South Africa's suspended Inspector General Imtiaz Fazal has informed Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating allegations of criminal infiltration and political interference that he will not be able to testify before it. Fazal says both President Cyril Ramaphosa and the Minister of Police, Firoz Kachalia, have also rejected his application to give evidence before the committee. The committee's evidence leader, Advocate Norman Arendse, read details of Fazal's letter.
I'm not lawfully entitled to disclose the relevant classified information to the ad hoc committee or answer any questions that may be posed by members of the committee. On Friday, 6 March 2026, I received 2 letters from the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence containing letters from the Minister in the Presidency and the Acting DG of the State Security Agency. Copies of these letters are also attached. It is clear that both the Minister and the Acting DG are opposed to me appearing before the committee at this stage. In the circumstances, I cannot appear before the committee.
At least 14 people have been killed when an inflatable boat carrying migrants crashed into a Turkish Coast Guard vessel off Turkey's southern province of Antalya. In a statement, the Coast Guard said the high-speed boat was detected early on today off the coast of Finiki district of Antalya and that it tried to flee from the Coast Guard despite repeated warnings to stop. It later collided with a Coast Guard vessel. And finally, the jailed former mayor of Istanbul, Erkim İmamoğlu, has gone on a trial in Turkey alongside hundreds of reporters. He's due to become the central defendant in a mass corruption trial that his opposition party and rights groups say is politically motivated. He faces more than 140 charges, including corruption and running a criminal organization. Reports say applause erupted as he entered the room. He was seen as one of the few politicians capable of defeating President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The BBC's Emirat Hamel has the details.
Ekrem İmamoğlu was arrested in March last year. On the same day, the main opposition Republican People's Party named him as its presidential candidate. His detention triggered Turkey's largest street protests in more than a decade. Mr. İmamoğlu faces a series of charges, including dozens of corruption-related offenses and, most notably, allegations of running a criminal organization. He denies them all. He is also facing a separate lawsuit questioning the validity of his university degree, which is a constitutional requirement for presidential candidates in Turkey.
Recapping the top story, the Sawa Guinea's main opposition leader Silo Dalien Diallo says a war has been openly declared on President Mamadi Doumbouya's challenges. This comes after Doumbouya's administration issued a decree on Friday that 40 party headquarters and local offices would be closed and the use of their logos, acronyms and other distinctive signs would be prohibited. For any news stories you would like to share with us, please do send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Tulo Ngwepe.
SABC News. The African Perspective. Time to stay informed, inspired, and connected to the ideas driving Africa forward. The Upside on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
6 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African time, we've entered the final hour, the final stretch of the Monday edition of The Upside, your gateway to the good life on Channel Africa, The African Perspective. Still streaming live on social media at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube, and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. Mmatsheko Mosito, what's coming up in this hour?
Well, as we continue with The Upside in this final hour of the show, we are going to be, listen, this music. Well, we're going to be bridging continents and capital. That's the big idea for this hour. And unlocking ethical philanthropy and inclusive leadership for Africa's future. Love it. Love that level of conversation. So that's what we're going to be addressing. And we're going to be speaking to our special guest, who's really going to give us a perspective on working across Europe and Africa. And they're going to share really what the ventures have been about when we look at philanthropy and what it means. There's a book I remember, very old book, Toxic Charity. It's a very good book for people that really want to be transparent in the work that they do and be more collaborative when they are trying to give and trying to do good, because those spaces can be very toxic. But anyway, that was just a personal thought. That's a conversation coming through, bridging continents and capital.
If it's news and current affairs, leading opinions, and thought leaders that get your groove, this is your home, The Upside. Ahoy, matey.
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa 1. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa 1. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Tebogo and Mmatsheko from the Upside.
9 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African time. I tell you what, our guest that we're going to have in this hour, man, she's lived. Oh, she's lived. You mentioned Europe. Having worked in Europe, having worked in Africa, we'll pick a brain a bit in terms of how we can, reach, global standards of excellence in the work that we're doing, female representation in leadership roles, and a lot more besides. So looking forward to that conversation. Stay locked in on The Upside.
Channel Africa, your voice, your sound, and your home. Stay logged right here. Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you will be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Mmatsheko Mosito and Tebogo Lekhuleni on the Upside.
my mama to tell her that I'm falling low. And what she said, my mama, it's too early for you to fall in love. Mama, don't you worry, she's my glory, my one and only. Yeah, yeah. Mama, don't you worry, she's my glory, my one and only. Yeah, yeah. Baby, this love not for me. Baby, this love not for me. I'm single. Do you know that I'm single? I'm single again. Who knows I'm single? Oh yes, I'm single. Ladies, I'm single again. I'm single. Who knows I'm single? Kwani mi nani. It's so hard to say bye-bye, cause my dream was to love you till I die, and I'm gonna miss you so bad, especially when I'm too sober. It's okay, mama, I'm gonna be okay, mama. Such a shame, mama, you thought it was games, mama. Ooh, baby, this love not for me. Baby, this love not for me. I'm single. Do you know that I'm single? I'm single again. Who knows I'm single? Oh yes, I'm single.
14 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African Time. Harmonize coming through there with a song titled Single Again. Sounded like you were celebrating that he's single again on that one. Maybe you this weekend, maybe on Friday you were not single, but then Monday, maybe you are single. Maybe single again. Are you celebrating that? Or are you crying about it? Oh, anyway, our thoughts are with you. All right, we're about to get into...
I wanted to say there's actually nothing wrong. It doesn't have to be either or. You can grieve and celebrate at the same time. It was a big chapter, I'm pretty certain. You can celebrate and grieve all at once. Feel it.
Anyone who's ever experienced heartbreak will tell you that's a horrible, horrible experience, eh? When you feel like you can't breathe anymore. Everything just tightens up. I can't breathe. And you can't even sleep. No, I'm not saying I've experienced it. I'm just saying
you have.
I've heard of.
You have, and it's okay.
Heard of.
We're here for you.
I've heard that it's a horrible experience. Chest tightening, anxiety, a lot happening. But you will heal. Time heals all wounds.
It does. You know you're back now. You're back. You're back. Okay, so we're going to talk about philanthropy and inclusive leadership for Africa's future. And you were talking about our wonderful guest who's going to join us in this conversation. Absolutely.
We're looking forward to having a conversation with Peggy Gruninger, founder of Diversity Compass. She has spent more than 3 decades working across Europe and Africa. Advising institutions on philanthropy, governance, and leadership development. We'll be getting into conversation with her after a quick breather. Let's get her on the line.
Be inspired. Stay informed. Channel Africa, the beauty of life. Now available anytime, anywhere with our new app. Africa in Business
on Channel Africa.
The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, says the surge to stronger external fundamentals and a series of policy reforms have helped restore confidence in the currency market. He noted that the improvement reflects increased foreign exchange inflows, more effective reserves management, and a renewed capacity to meet external obligations.
The larger foreign reserves is super good for considering the number of volume of foreign transactions that is being done by Nigeria. So it's a good indication. A second one is that it also gives the country an opportunity to be able to access the foreign reserves when they need it for maybe urgent, maybe infrastructural or any kind of developmental project.
Dennis O'Shea, a certified financial modeling and valuation analyst.
Bringing the African markets into your home.
Channel Africa, the African perspective. Tebogo and Mmatsheko from the upside.
18 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African time. I will be getting into conversation with, someone who's walked the philanthropical journey for quite a few years, decades. Peggy Gruninger, who's the founder of Diversity Compass. She'll be joining us on the line in a few seconds. I saw something interesting on social media. And I thought, okay, well, do you believe in niching down your skill set and your offering so as to just have one particular thing that people know you for instead of having multiple?
I think it depends. It depends on what you're niching down to and why what you're niching down for, if you are going to do it, but it really depends.
This particular person is a web designer, copywriter, and a voiceover artist. And a lot of people have been telling him to niche down. And he responded to this. He said, fortunately for me, all these skills feed into each other. Everything is a story. Design builds the visual hook, copywriting writes the story, and voiceover teaches me pacing. And he's saying that he's using all of these things to come together. So he's not necessarily niching on one particular thing. They all feed into the offering that he has.
Oh, I
so
think
that works?
That's a very smart guy.
As opposed to having extremely different things that you're doing.
I think for your own peace and happiness, if you're going to have multiple things going on for you, then you've got to know how to do it. I mean, he was smart enough to at least, sounds like, he knows what he's doing. But I mean, other people, they do that. They go to AI and ask, can I do this? And, and AI can help you. I'm not saying that's what he did, but it's possible that he could have.
No, fair enough. And
it depends.
And that's why I ask, because there are, people who have long money, generational wealth. They always say, we chose this thing and we stuck to it. We chose breeding this particular cow, and we are the only ones who do it in South Africa or in Africa, and that's our thing, and that's how we've grown our money and our legacy. We didn't try to diversify, do millions of things. We stuck it to one thing, and later on we started diversifying, adding extra things. We didn't start off doing multiple things at once.
I think it boils down to strategy. What is your strategy? What is your plan for the next 10 years? And if you don't know who you are and you're still trying to figure things out, and there's nothing wrong with being at that stage in your life, because you've just got to go you cannot go from point A to Z. The letters in between there, you've got to go through them as well. You've got to go through the D and the E and the P and the Q. Okay? Can't be A to Z. That doesn't make sense. So you've got to have a strategy, and if you've people that have been lucky enough to be partnered early, the right person emphasis, are also in an incredibly advantaged position, because then you are with somebody who can help you carry this strategy forward and much quicker.
Absolutely. And it's very important that you consult the right people. If you're looking to get into the philanthropical work, we've got a specialist who will be joining us on the line. Don't go anywhere.
Keep Africa in your hands. Connect to our website for all your news, sports, and cultural updates. channelafrica.co.za.
matter, RTID. Come on. Suffer for work, enjoy for heaven. This thing they happen to anyone. I come from nothing, enter many things, but this thing they happen to anyone. Yeah. I live the life that I love the life that I live. Tomorrow's not promised, but I'll keep the things that I need. Love is in the air, wear face mask. No matter the matter, I'll be rich till I die. I'll be rich till I die. I'll be rich till I die. I'll be rich till I die. I'll be rich till I die. A plan is a plan A, better plan is a plan B. No pain, no gain, no face, no case. Look, I live the life that I love. I love the life that I live. Tomorrow's not promised, but I'll keep the things that I need. Love is in the air, wear face mask. No matter the matter, I'll be rich till I die. I'll be rich till I die. I'll be rich till I die. I'll be rich till I die.
Kiss Daniel. Oh man, rich till I die. How about that? How about that?
That's it.
Let's get into a conversation with our guest.
Absolutely. Across Africa, many organizations and entrepreneurs are driving innovation and social change, but accessing global philanthropic funding remains a major challenge. Issues of trust, transparency, and cross-cultural understanding often stand in the way of that. Let's have a conversation with Peggy Gruninger, a special guest this afternoon, intercultural strategist and founder of Diversity Compass, who has spent many years, all right, we're talking here over 3 decades, of helping connect African organizations with global philanthropic investment spaces, as it were. Ms. Gruninger, thank you very much for the time this afternoon. Welcome to Channel Africa.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Most welcome. From your experience working across Africa and in many parts of Europe, what are the biggest barriers that are stopping African organizations from being able to access global philanthropic funding?
I think there's many things that play a role. First of all is the history, the history that, people have taken funding and did something else. But also the biggest thing today is the cultural misunderstanding. That the connection between the donors and the donor receivers are not connected. The expectations from the donors are totally unrealistic on the ground. So people don't hesitate only to donate, but also they don't know the dynamics of the country. I think that's one of the biggest things. As I've worked long in philanthropy, the challenge has always been to make people understand what's possible and what's not.
Yeah.
Peggy, a lot of the organizations and those who donors, they want measurable results. And oftentimes, African organizations, they struggle to communicate the impact that they are making. How can they improve on that? So as the donors to see that there is actual impact in what they are doing, as opposed to them just assuming that, hey, this money goes to waste.
I think, these things one should discuss upfront before you take a contract. How are you going to report? Because for me, I know how to report because I worked in this space.
Yeah.
And maybe get, templates from other organizations like UNICEF. They're fantastic templates, and try to use them to say where the money went. For instance, when you say on a reporting form, you say 20 children. People will, cynically ask, whose children are they? Did you adopt them? Did you do this? Where are they from? So it's a different context. You understand why you say 20 children, but they don't, because the way you talk about children is not the same like they talk about children in Europe.
Absolutely. A lot of how you speak around, charitable organization work or philanthropy, as it were, is how you stress the importance of ethical partnership. So how do we move from that? Because there's still a lot of let's take or let's receive and then do the work. But how can we start moving more towards or out of a charity mindset and more towards an equal collaboration mindset?
Wonderful. I think, Africa has a lot. People say Africa is a country it's a planet, no, sorry, it's a continent of opportunities, which is something that's both a winning statement, but also an insult, which means that people come from outside and they take and they go. So, and African people receive something and they think it's great. But when you look behind what's happening, what they get is very little. So Africa has to learn to negotiate on eye level. If someone wants to donate something, they cannot give you microloans because you don't get away with that. You don't get far with that. If you negotiate face to face on face level, you're likely to come up with something that makes more sense. That is not philanthropic, but a relationship.
Drawing all your years of experience, and for our listeners right now from different parts of the continent who would like to get in touch with you, how can they do so? For your insights, for your wisdom, and so that they can better, set up their infrastructures to report better, to create more impact, to add value.
You can contact me on www.peggygruninger.com. There you'll see, I have a lot of blogs that one can read, but also you can see the services I give, because one of the biggest services that I do is really philanthropic advice, because I know people just don't know how to do it. Even though they have the content, they just don't know how to do it. And I'm also on LinkedIn, I'm also on Instagram, so I'm reachable.
Okay. This is wonderful. I'm definitely going to pick up a conversation with you. There's many spaces on the African continent that we need to change. Ms. Gruninger, thank you very much for the time. It was a brief conversation, but really just worth it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for having me. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Peggy Gruninger joining us in her capacity as intercultural strategist and founder of Diversity Campus. You can find her on LinkedIn, and I'm sure she posts links to her article. I would imagine articles and blog posts are on there, and if you'd like a consultation, I'm sure she'd be happy to assist you. It is 3:30. Let's check in with sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
We begin with motor racing. Fernando Alonso has cast doubt on Aston Martin getting to the checkered flag in China next weekend after a nightmare season opener for the struggling Honda-powered Formula One team in Australia on Sunday. Spaniard Alonso and Canadian teammate Lance Stroll both retired from the Melbourne race after problems with the power unit limited the amount of laps the drivers could do and subjected them to serious vibrations. Team principal Adrian Newey told reporters that the drivers risk suffering nerve damage from vibrations coming through the steering wheel if they try to do more than 25 laps consecutively. He also said Honda had brought 4 batteries to Melbourne, but 2 had already failed, leaving only the ones in the cars. Formula One has started a new engine and chassis era this season, and Aston Martin have begun a new and exclusive partnership with Honda. Both Alonso, a 2-time world champion, and Stroll returned to the Aston garages during Sunday's race before going back out again and then calling it a day. Now, rugby news. South Africa has put on a sevens rugby clinic at the Vancouver leg of World Rugby Sevens series to win a second successive tournament and a third out of 5 for the season. The Blitzboks swept aside Australia in the Cup semi-finals of the Canadian tournament before making short work of Spain in the final. It was a perfect weekend for South Africa as they moved level with Fiji on log points at the top of the series table, with just one regular season tournament left to play in New York this coming weekend. They barely afforded the Spaniards the time to catch their breath as they ran in 3 tries before the break to lead 17-0 at halftime. The Blitzboks assist king, Tristan Lades, was the player of the final and underlined the hard work his team put into their game at the Canada Sevens.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend coming in, obviously having taken game by game. We went undefeated in our pool and we just carried that momentum on to the playoffs. Penalty against.
There was no let up in the second half, with South Africa stifling Spain's every attempt to get into the game. The Blitzboks to the final 38-12 over Spain to follow up their tournament win in Perth, with one tournament left to play in New York before the World Championship rounds. The Blitzboks have recorded tournament wins in Cape Town, Perth, and now Vancouver. Blitzbok captain Impi Fesser is thrilled with the level the team is playing at.
Just an amazing feeling, just such a privilege to be able to play in finals and to pull the jersey over our head. Sometimes I think we take it for granted, but yeah, it's just an amazing feeling and just really grateful for it. You know, we had a lot of changes, 6 changes from Perth to now, and the thing that we said we want to build is consistency. So I think we've shown that through and through, and yeah, we just need to keep on this momentum going into next week in New York.
On to Olympics, Nicole Berger says she's proud to have represented South Africa after making history as the country's first woman to compete in Olympic skeleton at the Winter Olympics. The South African Sports Confederation and Olympic Committee sent the largest ever contingent to Milano Cortina 2026 with 5 athletes competing across alpine skiing, freestyle skiing, cross-country and skeleton. Berger says it's incredible for the country to have sent 5 athletes to the Games and is hoping that the country can show that there are winter athletes that can compete.
I think it's still trying to sink in, actually, sort of going to the Games, being there, experiencing and soaking up all that atmosphere. But yeah, looking back, I think it's just, I'm incredibly proud, first of all, to represent South Africa on that stage. To pioneer winter sports as well, so having 5 athletes this Games is incredible for South Africa. So I'm hoping that, I don't know, we've sort of showed the world that South Africa is here. We have winter athletes and we're going to compete, and hopefully this will just sort of be getting stronger with more athletes in the future.
Finally, boxing news. South African featherweight phenom Lerato Dlamini reveals a new sense of purpose despite a crushing cancellation of his world title shot against Angelo Leo. Lights out. Dlamini was scheduled to fight for the IBF World Championship on the 21st of February, but the sanctioning body summoned the champion into another mandatory defense, and Dlamini's dream has been put on ice. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Figile Lungwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Conversations are happening, and Channel Africa is at the heart of them. We tell the African story with clarity, pride, and purpose, reaching audiences that matter to your brand. Partner with us and connect your business with listeners across borders in multiple languages and markets. For partnership opportunities, sponsorship, or sales, email us at partnership@channelafrica.co.za. Channel Africa, the African perspective. This is The Upside for the best African vibes, groundbreaking content.
36 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African Time. Let's get the final business news on The Upside this afternoon. Mr. Golden Voice, Thabiso Lekhuleni, is standing by.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thanks, Tebogo, and good afternoon. South Africa's economic growth outlook is expected to continue the positive run when the fourth quarter GDP figures are released. Stats SA will push the data tomorrow following a turbulent year for business characterized in apart by the impact of U.S. trade tariffs. Economists anticipate the fourth quarter reading will likely moderate from the previous quarter's 0.5% expansion. Chief Investment Officer at Makwe Fund Managers, Makwe Masilela, says improved market sentiment and strong commodity prices helped support the economy in 2025.
And the likes of agriculture as well, we think they will come, continue to help the GDP, given that we continue to have a nice rates as well. Yes, we know the tariffs kicked in, but remember, we managed to get some markets as well to be able to export it to, so that it help. My biggest concern is that we might continue to see manufacturing not doing that great, especially if you look into our November and December manufacturing production data, that continued not to be that great. So
the value of Uganda's coffee exports was broadly flat in January amid lower global prices of the commodity. Coffee is one of the country's largest commodity exports and a key source of foreign exchange. Uganda is Africa's largest exporter of the beans. In January, Uganda earned $161 million from its coffee shipments, 1.5% higher than shipments in the same period last year. Tunisia plans to expand its main Tunis Carthage airport at an estimated cost of about $1 billion, aiming to nearly quadruple passenger capacity as part of efforts to modernize air transport infrastructure. The Transport Ministry says that the project will increase the airport's capacity from about 5 million passengers to 18.5 million passengers annually by 2031. The ministry says that the expansion project has been included in the 2026 investment budget of the Civil Aviation and Airports Authority. The G7 finance ministers are meeting today as the world braces for the economic fallout of Donald Trump's war on Iran. It's expected they'll discuss the possibility of a joint release of oil reserves after the price per barrel reached $100 for the first time since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The turmoil has caused European stock markets to fall sharply on opening. President Trump said what he called the short-term increase on oil prices was a small price to pay for what he called world peace. The BBC's Henry Zeffman has the details.
The members of the International Energy Agency all hold stockpiles of oil, and those stockpiles can be released in order to counter oil price surges. That last happened in 2022 in the aftermath of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, and it seems possible that it might happen again in the coming weeks.
Share markets have dropped as the inflationary jolt from surging oil prices threatened to raise living costs and interest rates around the world, while investors desperate for liquidity fled to the US dollar. Crude oil futures soared almost 30% to nearly $120 a barrel, one of its biggest one-day jumps on record, threatening to raise costs of products from gasoline to jet fuel. Brent crude futures were last up nearly 13% at $104.5 a barrel, while US futures were up 12% at $101.8. Indicators at this hour: $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 389, and Botswana is at 13 pula 38. Kenya 128 shillings 60, and Zambia 19 kwacha 208. The BRICS countries in Brazil, the dollar there, 5 roll 25. Russia, 79 rubles 10. India, 91 rupees 85. China, 61.90. And in South Africa, the dollar will cost you 16 rand 54 cents. 75 pence to the British pound and 86 to the euro. Gold is trading at $5,094, while platinum is at $2,099 per ounce. Brent crude oil is at $107.72 a barrel. For any business stories you would like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business in Johannesburg, I'm Thabiso Lohuku.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Africa is changing, and the world is paying attention. This March, Channel Africa invites you to be part of a new conversation. Africa Matters, a platform where experts, policymakers, and thought leaders come together to unpack the big issues of our time: technology, politics, economics, climate change, and the future of our people. This is where ideas meet action, where change becomes opportunity, where Africa's voice takes its rightful place on the global stage. In March 2026, Channel Africa hosts Africa Climate Change Recovery Summit. Join the dialogue. Be part of the movement. Channel Africa, the African perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
What if God didn't? What if I had never been blessed beyond limits? What if I was always depressed and not living? What if Squatter Campus Khaled was unwritten and all I ever had to reflect was Bob Dylan? Josiah just decided to rest and not finish. Sia wasn't up to the test and not winning. Shabalala said in his head he can't hit it, but for it, it's all relative-ish. What if Tyler just decided to wait? What if Keenan couldn't stomach the hate? What if Booger Love had never been saved and still in love with the game? It's all how he fade. What if Eminem had stuck with the 9 to 5? If Chester wasn't playing in 95? If Philemon, my singer, was called offside and Doctor was injured, would you have ever seen Barker fly? And Brenda Fussy wasn't obsessed with show business, and all the Winnie wanted was checks and more children. And Costa said, you niggas correct, we're not women. Jabba didn't fuck on your vest, they can't siblings and son. I stand steady on business and everything that I've done. I can't imagine my Diva not being a prodigal son. I left Komani with vision and now I'm back as a young. What if? Mama, Indoya good, where would I be now? Mapande kwako, wemdaga mama. Indoya good, where would I be now? What if I was young and DJ and not chief? What if I was never prepared to love me? What if I was thinking of death and not peace? Cold heart, living with fear and can't breathe. What if I didn't move with the north side? If I had a problem being cool with a horse ride? I couldn't do what we all like. If I never knew Ngulungu, na swam. And all our time was have missed me. I'm focused on my daughters and my son and they missed me. If Zuma wasn't part of the big three, if Solomon Matango had quick feet, if Tito ain't decided to gift me a gift, you gotta think about it. What if everybody tried to forgive? If I had not inspired a generation of writers to celebrate Amalanga Bafuit. Mama, Indoya good, where would I be now?
Midday vibes, great programming, and good company. This is Channel Africa.
Above you, so many lies, but girl, you're the truth. And I'm so proud to call you my boo. I stick with you just like a tattoo. Forbidden love like it's taboo. Don't care what anybody might do. We put our haters in a review. My eyes are seen it. So many shit on the street, and I've been through places you've never been. I know be small picking. I don't chop breakfast, lunch, and chop dinner. My heart is cold like the winter, but you want me up, Angelina. So I give on to Caesar. What is Caesar? Girl, you light my world. And it's giving love. You can have it. I put nothing above you. You know I put nothing above you. So many love, but girl, you're the truth. You're the truth. And I'm so proud to call you my boo. Stand by you. I will stand by you. I thought I told you I really love you, and I don't care who had you. It's such a nice view. It's just me and you. You make the sky blue, the moon will pay you. Hello, hello, share you the game you. It's weather for two, do me gently. Wachekama ferawa, wachekama ferawa. Oh, my eyes have seen us. So many shit on the street, and I've been through places you've never been. I know be some more picking. I don't chop breakfast, lunch, and chop dinner. My heart is cold like the winter, but you want me up, Angelina. So I give on to Caesar. What is Caesar? Girl, you light my world, and it's giving love. You can have it. I put nothing above you. You know I put nothing above you. So many love, but girl, you're the truth. You're the truth. And I'm so proud to call you my boo. Hello,
Thanks for being here for The Upside as we're about to wrap up the show. Coming through with Stand By You, Feels coming through. That's the name of the artist. 12 minutes to go until it is 4 p.m.
Let's just do it.
Your life just got easier. Get the Channel Africa app and take us wherever you go. Catch the latest news, enjoy your favorite shows, stream the music you love, and stay connected to the continent. All in one spot, right in your pocket. Simple, quick, and always with you. The Channel Africa app. Download it now on iOS and Android. Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you'll be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
10 minutes before 4 p.m. Again, 10 minutes before 4 p.m. Central African time. A quick reminder that there's less than 100 days to go until the FIFA World Cup. From the 11th of June to the 19th of July, your national broadcaster SABC brings you every moment live. Watch on SABC3, stream on SABC Plus, and stay connected on SABC Radio. Download SABC Plus now and be ready for kickoff. SABC is the official broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Fresh and exciting. The Upside, hooking you up with today's news from the African perspective.
Greatness. Simbun with the melody. DJ Natil.
Soundboy for the girl. Hit me. I see you smile and you light up my life. No video deny you're the light of my life. In a
at the stars, it's already written. In your eyes, I see everything. No, give me deja vu. You name me once, I go there times two. Show you fast, you could say I do. They made it true, yeah. See as you find, one of a kind. You to the shine, carry them more than me. The way you whine, with your behind. No other man, I love you more than me. Can't give me face, don't give me space. When you go there, I'm more than me. Shorty now your matter go there bother me. All of me, baby I go call up. Jackie, my boy, love because I go wait, I go wait, I go wait, I go wait. Oh baby, I go call up. Oh Jackie, my boy, love because I go wait, I go wait, I go wait, I go wait. I've seen many bodies, pretty body, but nobody got the body like you do. Nobody fit to do me like you do. Nobody fit to do me like you do. Fancy gone, classy gone, no contender, just see what. See me kaya, so you go buy me low. You government, girl, I do your baby low. See as you find, one of a kind. You to the shine, carry them more than me. The way you whine, with your behind. No other man, I love you more than me. You give me face, don't give me space. When you go there, go I'm a mother, me. Shorty now your matter go there bother me. All of me, baby I go call up. Jackie, my bush love because I go wait, I go wait, I go wait, I go wait. Oh baby I go call up. Go Jackie, my bush love because I go wait, I go wait, I go wait. I go it, baby, I go call up. Jackie, my boy, love because I go it, I go it, I go it, I go it. Oh, baby, I go call up. Go Jackie, my boy, love because I go it, I go it, I go it, I go it.
Greatness.
DJ Neptune coming through there with a song titled Wait For You featuring Sounds. Can you believe we've come to the end of the Upside this afternoon? It flew by, even though I had Monday blue brain at some point. But
Blue
it flew
brain.
by. Yeah, blue
So
brain. But it flew by. We had great conversations this afternoon pertaining to, in the first hour, the Uber celebration. Uber Sub-Saharan Africa was celebrating its drivers, saying, listen, you're doing a brilliant job. We wanted to acknowledge you and ensure that, and reinforce the idea that we want you to continue working, we want to help you build your businesses, and we're going to help you find better means of getting additional income streams, making it easier for you to finance your cars, get all these things. And I think, and safety for the passengers. They reinforce that is still a core focus for them. So great conversations overall.
Absolutely. We got to speak to Ms. Peggy Grinninger as well, who is a strategist or intercultural strategist, I beg your pardon, and the founder of Diversity Campus. And we were really looking at philanthropy and being able to connect, especially philanthropic efforts on the African continent with international funders. How does that work? So that was another really brilliant opportunity for us to talk about things that matter when it comes to leadership and really uplifting the African continent where it matters most.
Absolutely. And someone else who's going to speak about things that matter is Tami Ngubeni, who will be coming through at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. with Africa in Business. But from us, the Upsiders and the Upside team in studio, on social and production, technical, and obviously me and Mmatsheko, we say, Africa, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's do this again tomorrow. Same time, same place. Bye-bye.
Whatever you want to hear about today's talk, you can get it on the Upside.